Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of Jost Van Dyke and the entire Virgin Islands. My friends, I'm happy to be here in Jost Van Dyke this afternoon to share with you my thoughts on how we can get the BVI working again for the benefit of all our people. Even though my remarks are being made in Jost Van Dyke today, I am speaking with the entire Virgin Islands. Before I go any further, though, I'd like to thank God for giving me the strength and guidance. And thank you, the people of Jost Van Dyke, and all the people across this country, for giving me the opportunity to speak with you today on a subject that is very dear to my heart, the subject of leadership. The significant challenges that we face as a country today demand that we refocus our attention at this time on the ideals and fundamentals that underpin our values as citizens of this country. In the words of the great British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, in critical and baffling situations, it is always best to return to first principle and simple action. Since I started my campaign some months ago, the overwhelming cry of the people of the BVI has been for better leadership in all aspects of public service. And thus, first principle and simple action in all contexts, I take to mean revisiting the roles, responsibilities, and obligations of elected public officials, and how political leaders use their experiences and rely on core values and principles to inspire fresh approaches in these difficult times. We are at a time in this country when at any public gathering, be it at the ferry dock across here, a bar, supermarket, clinic, a street corner, people express apprehension about the future because of uncertainties about the direction the country is heading in. The confidence of the people in this country are at an all-time low, and we are at the point where our people are saying something must change, and the fundamental driving that change is quality leadership in government. Now, while we're talking about fundamentals, for the purpose of clarity and to wipe away those gray areas that sometimes become shades of convenience in difficult times as we face now, it is important that we remind ourselves of the basic duties and responsibilities of government. Every country has its own government. We all know that. But what differentiates one government from the next is the quality of leadership that exists and the way leaders carry out their mandated duties and responsibilities to their citizens with regards to public and civic order, national security, public services, and economic stability. With regard to public services, government's responsibility is to provide a safety net so that all citizens have the basic needs for human survival: clothes, food, shelter, health, and education. Government must develop and adopt public policies that promote and protect citizens' rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Whether you are living on Jost Van Dyke, Virgin Gorda, Anegada, or Tortola, every citizen should have the same right of access to quality health care. And government must ensure that the appropriate infrastructure is in place to deliver these services in a timely and efficient manner to the people. On the matter of shelter, I said to you today that our citizens have the right to own land. And that right to own land must not be premised on which family you were born into, or which political party or politician you support. Because in this day and age, especially our young people, are setting new standards for themselves and their families. And their aspirations must not be fettered or frustrated because of who they are. Our people must be given equal opportunities to own land and build a home wherever they reside in the British Virgin Islands. I am saying publicly and without apology that the government of the Virgin Islands, whichever government in office, whether it's us or the VIP or the PPA or whoever it is, they should ensure that the representation given to all our citizens is of the highest quality. As I travel through the sister islands of Jost Van Dyke, Anegada and Virgin Gorda, Our people on these islands sometimes feel deserted.
Yes.
They feel at times that government has forgotten that they exist. I say that there should be no difference in the level of representation or the quality of care received by our citizens, whether they're on Tortola, Virgin Gorda, Antigua, or Jost van Dyke. That is what I say. And what about government's obligation to our children to ensure that they have an environment that is enabling, that provides the critical support that they need to ensure that they get a good education, to learn and perfect social skills that will help them along life's long and difficult journey? And how does government and our political leaders address the social problems of crime and violence that we see so prevalent among our youth, and which threaten the stability and sustainability of small Caribbean countries like ours? And are we to be satisfied with the often repeated excuses, well, other places have the same problem, or the world is in a global recession, so there's nothing that we can do? Or are we to do what good leaders do, like H. Lavity Stout, taking responsibility for our own affairs and carve out a growth path through the maze of socio-economic chaos with resolute visionary leadership? If we accept the position that economic stability is a basic duty and responsibility of government, then we must ask ourselves, is it fair and is it right that our leaders continue to promote the false notion that there is nothing that they can do to improve the quality of life of our people until other countries pull themselves out of a recession? How do we explain that to our senior citizens who are depending on us to provide a proper facility for them to rest after spending their better years building this country and paving the ground upon which our leaders loftily stand today? How do we explain that to the person who's losing their home and have nowhere to take their family because they have been laid off from work or that their hours have been drastically reduced? My dear friends, do you think that the high school graduate or the college or university graduate who have spent years of their life pursuing higher education will accept that there is nothing that we can do until the global economy turns around? No. What are they to do in the meantime? We could have done a number of things to insulate this territory as far as possible from the effects of the global recession. We could have looked at our wasteful spending habits and ensure that we do the things that were necessary and that were priority. We could have invested much more in the tourism product so that we could have increased our visitor arrivals for the last season and the upcoming season. Yeah. We could have funded the National Business Bureau in an effort to create new businessmen and women and to keep those doors of existing struggling businesses open. Yes. As you heard Marlon so eloquently said, small businesses are the engine of our economy and they are instrumental in job creation. We could have tackled the problem of high cost of living in this country with the view to preventing the outflow of billions of dollars from our economy to St. Thomas and other places to make them richer and to make us poorer. We could have invested much more money in our farmers by providing better financial and technical support to improve local food production rather than spending upwards of $6 million for greenhouses that have now become a haven for rats and other animals. We could have done much better. Can we expect our people to buy that recession argument? They must ignore the social and economic realities leading up to an election. Vote for a party that throws around some goodies during election only to have the same leaders return to business as usual after the election cycle is over? Is that what we're to do? No. Well, my friends, that's not what I'm hearing. No. That is not what I'm hearing. I am hearing that it wouldn't be business as usual this election. As a matter of fact, I am hearing that instead it will be business unusual. That's right. It will be business unusual this upcoming general elections. I am hearing that this election will not be like anything we have seen before. I am hearing that the old political arguments and the old political stratagem and machinations will not work anymore for the people of the Virgin Islands. I am hearing that the poor excuses, the excuses for poor performance, will not work with our people anymore. I am hearing that the people of Jost, Dyke, the people of Antigada, and the people of Virgin Gorda, who up to now still do not have proper healthcare facilities. The parents in Tortola, who cannot afford to buy school supplies for the school year starting very shortly. The people all over the territory who are tired of worn-out excuses, who are tired of lowering their expectations to meet the poor performance in leadership, who feel worse off now than they were 4 years ago, and who want a better life for themselves, their children and grandchildren. I am hearing those people say to us that this election will be business unusual. My friends, business unusual sounds like a song, and I like that song. I like business unusual because it sends a clear message for all of us contesting the upcoming elections that our people want a new approach, our people want a change, our people want new and good leadership to take this country to a new level so that we can be prepared to meet the new challenges that are ahead of us. But more importantly, our people are saying we need good and new leadership to put us in better stead to exploit new and emerging opportunities and to get the BVI working again. Opportunities to put our economy back on track, our people back to work so that they can continue to enjoy the standard of living that they've grown accustomed to. My friends, I am hearing that this election will be business unusual. That this election will be about leadership, new leadership, good leadership. And I tell you, I like that song. New leadership to me sounds good. Why? Because in times like these, our people are changing the way that they look at political leaders. Our people are demanding more in terms of integrity and accountability in government and the ability of our leaders to best utilize the power and resources of elected office, to build relationships across divides with all stakeholders in civil society, to make decisions that are in the best interest of the people and for the well-being of this country. The leaders that we seek are politicians who focus not on surviving to perpetuate themselves in office for eternity, not on those who are profiting from public office, not on short-term personal and political expediency, not on deception, shenanigans and manipulation to get what they want, not on giving jobs and money and handouts every 4 years prior to an election. That is not what they want. But instead of people want political leaders who focus on compromise and coalition building, on inspiration, motivation, and exemplary behavior, and what is good and doing what is good at all times for this country. The new political leadership that our people seek requires statesmanship. It is principle-centered, takes responsibility for mistakes, does not resort to cover-ups, and is rooted in a value system that engenders strength, courage, character, and willingness to stand up for what is right at all times for the greater good of the people. My friends, I hear your song and I like your tune. This election will be business unusual. This election will be about a new type of leadership. And I believe in Claude Skelton Klein that you will find the leader that you need in the 2nd District. I believe in me, you will find the leader that you're looking for at large. And I believe that in Dr. Smith, in Ronnie Skelton, and Archie Christian, you will find the leaders that you need to take care of this entire territory. I believe that in the entire NDP team, stand up NDP, all y'all in the audience. I believe in this team that you will find the new leaders that you want for your business unusual this election. I ask you when you come out to the polls, come out with an intention to usher in a new change for this territory. Come out with an intention of changing the old tired guards who have done nothing for 4 years and who will resort to trickery, deception, and lies to hold on to political office. But as Claude said in Virgin Gorda, and he said it well, there's a time and season for everything. And now is the season for the NDP. Now is the season for our people to have a chance to enjoy a better life in this country. Once again, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts with you. And I look forward to your continued support as we move together to build this country's future together. Good afternoon, God bless you, and God bless the beautiful British Virgin Islands.